Hello, everyone. Welcome to yet another episode on the interview series by Bar and Bench. Today, we're joined by a legal content curator and influencer, Tanya Appachu, who is famously known by her Instagram handle that is Your Insta Lawyer. Tanya is a 2011 graduate of ILS Law College, Pune, and began her career with the Big Four, where she worked for 4 years as a consultant. After this, she worked at the chambers of a designated senior advocate in Jodhpur for a brief period. In the past 2 years, Tanya has carved a niche for herself as a legal content Instagram influencer, where she spreads awareness for the common man about the many rights guaranteed by the law. As a legal content creator, she has been featured on a plethora of platforms, including Hindustan Times, Midday Mumbai, Brute India, Levi's India Campaign, and NDTV, among others. Most prominently, she made it to the Forbes 100 Digital Stars list in 2022 and also won the Cosmopolitan Blogger Award and the Hindustan Times She Slays Award for content with a cause. Welcome to the interview series, Tanya. It's so nice to speak to you.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much for having me, Bar and Bench.
Right. So, Tanya, if I had to go back to the times when you just graduated from law school, having worked in-house with the Big Four and as a practicing lawyer at the chambers of a senior advocate in Jodhpur, what was your time like at both the stints?
I think both are like chalk and cheese, I mean, think of it, one who's interested in getting into the courts wouldn't really think of joining a Big Four. But strangely, I feel it's kind of made me more well-rounded because the Big Four really gives you a lot of exposure into industries. And even at a very, initial level in your career, the exposure in a Big Four is immense. So I'm very thankful to that. And also, going to courts, learning what happens in the courts, learning how the system works. So I feel it's personally helped me be more well-rounded. Although I wouldn't suggest any student to think of such two diverse career options in their career, but it worked out well for me.
Right. Great. And when did the idea of creating bite-sized legal content on Instagram stem? And what did your challenges look like initially as a content creator?
There are a couple of things that kind of drove me into creating content. I think the thing that really pushed me was my postpartum. I had just had a baby and I had stopped working. So I was going through a phase where, you're continuously doubting yourself. You can't go back to practicing traditional law because let's face it, it's very, very difficult to, do traditional legal work when you have a baby and you don't have any support system at home to take care of the child. And I also never lived in cities to, hire nannies, etc. So it was very difficult for me to get back to work. And I also felt the need to create something for myself. And I was consuming a lot of content during that phase, the pandemic and my postpartum. And I saw a lot of doctors and therapists online. And that's when, I felt that why are there no lawyers online? Of course, there were lawyers doing a lot of work online on YouTube, like creating content for students or aspirants, but nothing really for the layman, nothing breaking down and, making it really simple for the layman. So I think those couple of things just pushed me that I wanted to create something very simple, fun, easy for just regular people to understand, not just for lawyers, not for law students, but for regular housewives, students going to college. I think as a citizen, we need to know about our rights, we need to know the law, but unfortunately, it's a very small crowd of people who are aware of the law. So why not, if we can make it simple for others, I'm sure. I mean, they have shown interest. So these were a couple of things that drove me. Yeah.
Right. So this was your background story behind starting your Instagram page. Had you ever imagined, though, getting featured in the Forbes 100 Digital Stars list and winning the Cosmopolitan Blogger Award and the Hindustan Times She Slays Award for content with a cause?
Not at all. Not at all. I mean, never thought as a lawyer you would get into mainstream blogging. I mean, these awards are given to mainstream content creators, influencers, and I still don't consider myself one, because for me, I think somewhere at heart, I'm still a lawyer. So I treat myself like one. So when somebody came up to me and said, "Hey, you've been invited for the Cosmopolitan, you've been nominated for this," I was like, "Cosmopolitan? I mean, aren't they like fashion and lifestyle?" But I think people are realizing that yes, there is a different kind of content out there, and it is helpful to people. It is helpful to women. So uh, I'm glad. I mean, everything is. I think these experiences are something that I would have never got as a traditional
Right.
lawyer. I mean,
Right.
nobody would have called me for a Cosmopolitan award,
Correct.
or So it was quite an experience, and I
Right.
am thankful to every one of them. Yeah.
Right. And how would you describe your journey from zero to viral within 2 years?
Um, it was hard. It was hard, firstly, like we discussed earlier, to face the camera. Like, I'm not
Mm-hmm.
a camera facing person at all. I don't know how I garnered the courage to switch on the phone every day and get online. So that was the hard part. And you somehow get over it. But it's been great. It's had its ups and downs and a lot of problems with consistency, because it's really hard to be consistent on the phone. Oh, sorry, on the net,
Mm-hmm.
and so on social media, and it's really difficult to be relevant. I think that's very hard, right? Because in 3 months and 6 months, trends change. There are so many people coming in, and
Mm-hmm.
then still to be relevant to your audience or to new audience, I think that is really hard.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying my best, and
Hmm.
yeah, that's those are a couple of
Right.
challenges that, yeah.
Got it. And as a content creator featured on multiple forums and with a following of over 200K people, what are your thoughts on building a personal brand? And are there downsides to the fame you get on social media?
Yeah, like we just discussed earlier, I think the downside is, first of all, it's not easy to build a personal brand, because you could come out there and talk about whatever you wanted, but until and unless you can really relate to people,
Mm-hmm.
you can build contacts, you can have a network
Mm-hmm.
in the kind of industry, that any industry, I mean, even social media is an industry. Being on Instagram, being amongst creators and influence, that is an huge industry in itself. So
Right.
until and unless you can be relevant in that industry, create a kind of niche and name for yourself, there is no personal brand. You could be one of the thousand um, lawyers creating content on Instagram, but you
Mm-hmm.
need to be that one or two lawyers that everybody knows.
Right.
And nobody is going to just simply know you because they're watching your videos, or one
Correct.
of your videos went viral. You have
Correct.
put that effort to,
Correct.
network with people, be present in events, show yourself in
Hmm.
situations, do a lot of free work. I've done a
Hmm.
lot of free work just to be seen, just to
Right.
be heard in places. So I think all these matter in kind of creating a brand. Like,
Right.
I have a lot of people who tell me that, oh, you're the only lawyer I know online.
Oh, okay.
Like a regular,
Interesting.
just another person is like, oh, are there other lawyers? Like, you're the only one I know online.
Hmm.
So that is how you create something for yourself, that okay,
Right.
people know who you are. And the downside of it is, again, it's hard. You've created something for yourself, and then you need to stick around. You need to be able to continue
Hmm.
that legacy, or that thing you have created for yourself, and
Correct.
that is really hard online.
Correct.
So being consistent, being able to create something new and give something new to the audience every single time. You can sustain something for 3 months
Hmm.
amazingly. You
Hmm.
keep doing the same cut, copy, paste, you'll do great for 3 months, and then you need to change again. So
Correct.
that part is, that's slightly hard. Yeah.
Got it. This makes me also want to ask you, did you receive any slack from the community, the legal community, or your friends from the legal background when you started off on
Yeah,
social
I
media?
think when I started off, yes, because I mean, let's face it, we are a very serious community. We do serious work.
Hmm.
I mean, at least we do think that we do a lot of serious work, which is of relevance to the community at large. So when somebody out there, and I have done good work in my life previously.
Right.
So when my colleagues and people around me saw me foray into social media, I'm sure they were surprised.
Hmm.
And I had a couple of them even ask me, like, what is wrong with you? Like, why are you
Right.
doing this? Like,
Right.
not anymore.
Right.
So when they see something work, somebody has taken a chance and done something totally out of the box, totally uncomfortable from where we come from, and it works. As long
Right.
as it works, everything is great,
Correct.
right? The minute it doesn't work, it's like, okay,
Yeah.
nobody's going to say, but she tried. It's going to be
Yeah.
like, yeah, what is she even thinking? But
Correct.
now it's like, oh yeah, she tried, and it worked. It might work
Right.
for us. I think I've, in fact, inspired a lot of people to, like,
Of course.
step out of, because see, let's face it, a traditional career is not easy for everyone, especially women at all
Correct.
phases of their life,
Correct.
right? I mean, we have to face the fact that if we are planning to have a family or have a kid, it's very, very difficult. If I was practicing in court, there are no days off, there are no timings. So how exactly do you come back and take care of your family and go?
Right.
Unless you're a great hustler, you have some great support, and you're like managing everything. So there
Correct.
are some people like me who couldn't manage it, who can't manage it. So it's okay if I can inspire someone to do something entirely different from what they're doing. If it works for them, then nothing like it.
And you also have a consultancy of your own where you bridge the gap between the layman's understanding of the legal issues they face and a practicing lawyer. How and when did this practice start and pick up?
So I think when I started making content, I had a lot of people reach out to me on my DMs asking me questions. So you've just started your knife, so you address all their issues and you're giving out all the answers. You're spending so much time on it. So that's when I realized that yes, there is an interest where people, they feel comfortable talking to you,
Hmm.
they feel comfortable asking you things. And then I was personally spending a lot of time and energy in addressing their queries, so I said, why not convert this into something uh, you know uh, that is profitable to me too. And also I always feel that if somebody is giving you a certain amount of money for something,
Right.
they value it more. It's as
Correct.
simple as that.
Correct.
So that's how I started, because I was getting in a lot of queries, and that's how I started consulting.
Right. So how is this consulting different from, the role of a lawyer in an office, in a law firm, or yeah, an individual lawyer? Apart from obviously not arguing matters in the court and things like that, but just
Like, I mean, just imagine the first query which comes into the first meeting between a lawyer and a client,
hmm.
right? That's what I do
Okay.
before you take on any kind of work.
Okay.
So the thing is, not many people are comfortable going and approaching lawyers,
Mm-hmm.
or they don't even know what kind of lawyer to approach.
Hmm.
They don't even know that there is something called a criminal court, there is something called a civil court, or a
Makes
civil lawyer, a
sense.
criminal lawyer. They
Makes
don't even
sense.
know that this is a family court. So
Right.
that is the basic. So if you're starting from there,
Hmm.
they don't have the kind of, um what do I say, they don't have the courage to go up to a lawyer, or
Okay.
even understand that the issues that they're facing requires a lawyer or not. Is it something that they can
Hmm.
get justice for or not? So these are the queries that I feel, that's where I come in and I bridge that gap,
Correct.
because
Okay.
they feel comfortable talking to me because they see me every day online, right?
Okay.
Or they see that, okay, this lady, it seems like approachable to talk to, and
Hmm.
she's also consulting, let me ask her some questions. So
Okay.
that is a basic consulting that I do. Like, I help them out figure out what is going on, um, whether they can take some action, what next steps should they take, who can they contact, do I have any contacts. So I refer them to lawyers in different
Okay.
cities, because I also have a network from work, from college, my alumni. So I
Right.
refer them to people. Yeah.
Got it. Got it. And if a lawyer or law student chooses to do similar work as you on social media, can they make a living out of it?
Yes, they can. Like we spoke about, it's important that you create a personal brand for yourself, because only when you're relatable to people, can you also start getting promotional activities on your channel. So mostly that's how creators on Instagram make money,
Okay.
by promoting brands.
Okay.
And if you're on YouTube, then of course YouTube pays you after a certain amount of time.
Hmm.
So there are different ways to go about this. Yes, you can make a living. You can, like, convert your, you can use clients, you can use social media to get clients,
Right.
right? or
Right.
talk about your work. I'm sure some people will reach out to you like that. Or you can create something like I did, like, start your own consulting that could help you on.
Correct.
But it's also important to understand that I started in my 30s, like I was 34, 35 when I started doing this work. So I already have like life experience and work experience with me.
Correct.
Right? So it is important as a lawyer. You've spent 5 years studying. You've put in so much effort. So do take that time to get work experience. So you can't. It doesn't make sense to finish college and become a content creator, because then you're just reading out of a law book or reading some article and making content. You're not really giving any value because you don't know much yourself. I mean, let's face it, law school hardly teaches you anything that is relevant in the real world. So you need to like really go out there and get some experience. But yes, it can be a great side hustle.
Right.
Right. And then once it takes off, or you feel that you're doing really well with it, and this is earning you enough money that is going to be sustainable even for the future,
Right.
then yes. If you
Got
feel
it.
you can grow into something else, and then yes, then you can think of it as a full-time career.
Right, right. Because nowadays there are a lot of law students even having their own YouTube channels, which are doing really well, where they just share
Yeah.
their internship experiences and just like something that that communicates to the law student community.
Of course, of course. I know. I've seen a lot of them, and I think why not? I mean, it is only helpful for people,
Right.
right? I mean, I remember when I joined college, I
Right.
Google searched, somebody talk to someone something about my college, so that I had
Right.
some idea of what to do when I go there. But I
Correct.
remember all I got was one random article by some guy, and that's it. And I still
Okay.
remember that person because that's the only thing I read before going to college. So,
Okay.
if you have access, why not? I mean,
Right.
why not give out information to people? So,
Right.
that's
And got it. And you did mention that you started your content creation journey postpartum. That was the point that made you switch to this field. But do you see yourself ever going back to traditional lawyering anytime in the future?
yes. I mean, I'd like to keep my options open, and I love to take any opportunities that come my way. So, if a great opportunity comes up at some point of time, I would love to go back because I really did enjoy doing that too. So, why not?
Right. Got it. Great, Tanya. Is there anything else you would like to share that we did not cover, or anything else?
No, just excited to be on Bar and Bench. I mean, I've been following. I make most of my content based off Bar and Bench. So thank you so much.
Great. It
You
was
all are like the best legal reporting channel that I know of. So yeah, it's great to be here.
super. It was great speaking to you, Tanya.
Yeah, thank you
Yeah.
so much.
All right.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the bell icon.